Hey everyone, Dr. Donna here. So today we're diving into a critical topic that affects many teenagers, depression and suicide. It's something we don't talk about enough, and yet it's so important. You know, like when you put off reading that really long book for school, but it turns out to be surprisingly good, and you kind of wish you'd started it sooner. Yeah, this is way more important than that. Understanding these issues is the first step towards making a difference. We owe it to the teenagers in our lives to be informed and ready to help. And sometimes, that help starts with simply understanding what they're going through. We're going to cover a lot of ground today, from the signs and symptoms of depression to the resources available for prevention and support. This isn't going to be easy, but it's a conversation we need to have. Okay, so depression. It's more than just feeling sad, right? It's a complex mental health condition that affects every aspect of a teenager's life. It's like this heavy blanket that smothers everything, making even the simplest tasks feel insurmountable. Imagine waking up every day feeling like you're wading through mud, even though everyone else seems to be walking on solid ground. It's exhausting and relentless. That's what depression can feel like. Emotionally, it's a roller coaster with extreme highs and devastating lows. Intense sadness, yeah, but also this overwhelming sense of emptiness. Like someone reached in and scooped out a part of you, leaving a void that's hard to fill. And the irritability? It's like living with a short fuse that's always about to blow. Small things can trigger intense frustration. Then there's the cognitive side. It's like your brain is playing tricks on you, making it hard to think clearly or make sense of things. Difficulty concentrating, remembering things. It's like trying to study for a test in a room full of screaming toddlers. The noise in your head never seems to quiet down. And making decisions? Forget about it. It's like every choice, no matter how small, feels impossible. Even picking out clothes can become a monumental task. Behaviorally, depression can manifest in so many ways. It's not just about feeling sad. Some teenagers withdraw, becoming isolated and pushing away even their closest friends. They might stop participating in activities they once loved. Others might engage in risky behaviors, searching for something, anything, to numb the pain. It's a desperate attempt to feel something different. And physically, headaches, stomach aches, fatigue. It's like your body is mirroring the turmoil happening inside your mind. The pain is real and persistent. Sleep patterns are all over the place. It's hard to find rest when your mind is in chaos. Some teens sleep too much, seeking refuge in dreams, while others can't seem to sleep at all, their minds racing with worry and fear. It's important to remember that depression looks different in everyone. There's no one-size-fits-all experience. Each teenager's struggle is unique. But understanding these common effects is crucial in recognizing when a teenager might be struggling. Awareness is the first step towards getting help. This is a tough one, but we need to talk about it. It's a conversation that can save lives. Suicide. It's a scary word, but ignoring it won't make it go away. We need to face it head on. In fact, it's one of the leading causes of death among teenagers. The numbers are alarming and demand our attention. The warning signs, they're not always obvious, but they are there. Subtle changes in behavior can be a cry for help. Talking about feeling hopeless or trapped, like there's no way out. Increased substance use, reckless behavior, withdrawing from loved ones, giving away prized possessions. These are all significant indicators. These are all cries for help, and we need to listen. We need to be there for each other. The impact of suicide, it's like a ripple effect, spreading outward and touching everyone in its path. It affects more than just the individual. For friends and family members left behind, the grief can be unbearable. The loss is profound and long-lasting. They're left grappling with unanswered questions, guilt, and the overwhelming pain of loss. The emotional toll is immense. And the community? It's shaken to its core. The sense of loss reverberates through schools, neighborhoods, and workplaces. Teachers, classmates, neighbors, everyone feels the impact. It's a collective grief that underscores our shared humanity. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of reaching out to those who might be struggling. We must act with compassion and urgency. But here's the thing. Suicide is preventable. There is hope, and there are steps we can take. By recognizing the warning signs and knowing how to respond, we can make a difference. Education and awareness are key. We can offer support, connect teens with resources, and remind them that they're not alone. Together, we can create a safety net of care and understanding. So, what leads to this darkness, this despair? Well, it's rarely just one thing. It's usually a complex interplay of factors, like a perfect storm brewing in a teenager's life. Biologically, there's a genetic component to depression. If a close family member has struggled with it, a teenager might be more susceptible. And then there are the hormonal changes happening during adolescence, which can impact brain chemistry and mood regulation. Psychologically, teenagers are still developing their sense of self, their coping mechanisms. Traumatic experiences like abuse, neglect, or bullying can leave deep emotional scars. And then there's the pressure to succeed, to fit in, to navigate the complexities of social media and peer relationships. Environmentally, factors like family dysfunction, poverty, and exposure to violence can contribute to feelings of hopelessness and despair. And let's not forget about the role of social media, which can create unrealistic expectations and exacerbate feelings of inadequacy. It's important to remember that these factors don't exist in isolation. They often interact and compound each other, creating a perfect storm that can be overwhelming for teenagers to navigate. Okay, so we've covered a lot of heavy stuff, but here's the good news. There is hope. There are effective ways to address these issues and make a real difference. There are things we can do to prevent teen depression and suicide and support those who are struggling. It starts with awareness and a proactive approach. Prevention starts with creating a culture of open communication. Families, schools, and communities need to foster environments where teens feel safe to express themselves. We need to encourage teenagers to talk about their feelings without shame or judgment. This means being open, empathetic, and non-judgmental in our responses. We need to listen, really listen, and validate their experiences. Acknowledging their feelings can make a significant difference in their mental well-being. Schools can play a vital role by implementing mental health programs that teach coping mechanisms, stress management techniques, and suicide prevention strategies. Early intervention is key. Educators and counselors can be trained to recognize the signs of distress and provide timely support. Just like we wouldn't ignore a broken leg, we shouldn't ignore signs of mental distress. Mental health is just as important as physical health. Support can come in many forms. It can be professional help, peer support, or even community resources. Therapy can provide a safe space for teenagers to process their emotions and develop healthy coping mechanisms. It offers a structured environment to explore their feelings. Medication can be helpful in regulating brain chemistry and alleviating symptoms. It can be an essential part of a comprehensive treatment plan, and support groups can connect teens with others who understand what they're going through. Sharing experiences with peers can reduce feelings of isolation. It's crucial to remember that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Reaching out is the first step towards healing. It takes courage to reach out and ask for support. It's a brave act that can lead to positive change. And there are people who care, who want to help, who are ready to listen. You are not alone in this journey. This isn't just a personal issue, folks. Teen depression and suicide have far-reaching impacts on society as a whole. The economic costs alone are staggering, from healthcare expenses to lost productivity. But the human cost? That's immeasurable. Every life lost to suicide is a tragedy, a ripple effect of pain and loss, that extends far beyond immediate family and friends. We need to shift our cultural understanding of mental health. It's time to break down the stigma, to normalize conversations about mental well-being, and to create a society where seeking help is seen as a sign of strength, not weakness. We need to invest in research to better understand the causes of teen depression and suicide, and to develop more effective prevention and treatment strategies. We need to advocate for policies that support mental health services and make them accessible to all who need them. This is a shared responsibility. It's up to all of us to create a world where teenagers feel supported, valued, and empowered to seek help when they need it. So, we've covered a lot of difficult ground today. We've talked about the darkness, the despair, the heartbreaking reality of teen depression and suicide. But we've also talked about hope. We've talked about the power of understanding, the importance of support, and the difference we can make when we come together as a community. By understanding and addressing these issues, we can create a supportive environment for our teenagers. We can be the listening ears, the helping hands, the beacons of hope that guide them through difficult times. Remember, help is always available. Reach out to national organizations and federal agencies like the Suicide Prevention Resource Center for more information and support. You are not alone, and neither are the teenagers in your life.